This damn cat, get out of here.
Yeah, because we had your cat step on
Step
your
on the power
earbuds.
button.
Oh boy.
Step on the power button last week, and he's hovering around there again, so I just had to kick him out. All
Okay,
right,
poor cat,
we're good. We're good.
but we're good.
He's
And
fine.
yeah, we're here for another week of agri-coaching, as I have branded this. Sam, how are you doing?
Hey, Lumen, very well. How are you?
Doing good. And we've made some, or I say we, but it's really you who's made the big leap in away from the base set and into arena, which is currently with the C&D cards.
Yeah, so I would say it's not really because I'm tired of the base set yet. It's more just in my time zone, it's much easier to find a game in arena.
Okay.
If I'm queuing for base set, I can be queuing for like half an hour,
Mm-hmm.
and it's always against beginners.
Right. So I guess a couple follow-up questions for that. If you want to decline to answer or think about it more, that's
Yeah,
totally
sure.
fine. But uh, do you think that you're at a point where you might recommend yourself to move on to more cards, or do you think there's a good like threshold to cross of some sort before moving on to new cards?
So I'd say I played roughly about 40 games with the base set. Um, yeah, after 40 games, I know the base set inside out.
Okay,
It
cool.
probably it probably was naturally time anyway to explore some new cards, but I tend to get stuck in my old habits and just play what I know.
I mean, it's very easy to do that, especially in Agricola, because there is just like an investment that is made learning a card set like that. And to be like taken away from it right
Yeah.
afterwards is not going to be everyone's cup of tea.
Oh
I
yeah,
think
my
the general advice I was always giving without knowing um, how it felt personally is that the base set was perfect for people who were going to play 10 to 20 times a year. And then if they wanted to, and this is like for the physical copy, but should
mhm.
still apply. But and if you're going to play more than 20 times a year, you'll probably want the variety from expansions.
Oh yeah, if you're playing the base set, you'll get the same combos quite often,
Right.
which
And,
is, it's still fine, but if you want some variety, then adding more cards is obviously going to make it more fun.
right. And there is something to be said for having at least some level of familiarity, which is why for like the first 20 plays, if you're only going to play it once or twice a month, then it's going to take a while to get familiar anyway. So you don't want to just keep adding new stuff.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. You want to make sure you're comfortable with the base set and then move on. I
Yeah.
think.
Okay, cool. Glad to hear that. And then do you have any thoughts on like the coolness of the CD expansion, or do you think it's more of the
So
same?
my first thoughts on the CD expansion is, holy crap, these cards are amazing.
Uh huh.
I think if you were to like line them up against the base set, I think the majority of strong cards would be from C and D, like mainly occupations I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Do
Yep.
you feel that's true?
I do. And I think that's actually even more true for the minor improvements. So I definitely think there's a noticeable difference in the occupations and where you can often find games where you're happy to play for more occupations now
Yeah.
with CD. Uh, but that's one thing. But then if we lined up the minor improvements from the base set and the CD set, there's going to be a huge amount of the CD cards in the first couple tiers.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
So it
Like
is really just an increase in card quality in a lot of ways.
the thing I've found, this is completely anecdotal experience, is in the base set I was getting 50 quite often, or like high 40s, but with the C and D I'm struggling at the moment.
Okay, I think that is probably just familiarity and the opponents in Arena probably just being tougher than the ones you're finding in the standard games.
Yeah, that's very true as well. Most of my arena opponents have been tough. Like this red guy, he's number one arena at the moment.
Oh yeah, Sivir is good. He's a
Yeah.
friend of my stream, so yeah. Looking forward to watching this replay here. You're in the third seat, and draft 8 CD cards. Bonehead, very sensible. That is probably just the best occupation in a vacuum, and then pairing it with writing desk makes sense. What are you thinking in terms of your fifth pick? What would you
Oh,
like to
that's a
come
good
back?
question. So with writing desk, potentially papermaker combo.
Yep.
Obviously, I'm praying for milk jug because I love it.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, I also enjoy Beanfield would be good. Stonecutter's decent.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's fair enough. Uh,
Trident as well, I like for the
yep,
food.
Trident's fun for sure, and Bonehead is definitely a card that can support Trident a little better.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you probably don't need this advice, but I give this advice often to intermediate level players is in your draft, remember the next best 4 cards, or 3 cards, even.
Yeah, to see what other people take and what they're sort of heading towards.
Right, because if you remember the next best 3 cards and then maybe what you'd rather take after that, then you'll have a very good idea of what the table has taken during the game, exactly. And then it's better planning for yourself, too.
Yeah. So the Ox in that hand I thought were pretty underwhelming.
In the
But
previous hand, I
they,
agree, yeah.
yeah. But here they are insane. Well, the cards.
Yeah.
Cultivator Swing Plow.
I mean, you can't pass up Cultivator Swing Plow. Like,
Even though I wanted the bookcase, but
I mean,
wasn't meant to be.
I can't say that Bookcase is that wrong, but when you have the opportunity to take a Swing Plow with a Cultivator, I mean, that's the
Yeah.
dream. That is that is basically the dream. So, that's right. It is again unfortunate to pass on the bookcase, but remember that you've seen well, at least here there's some good vegetable support, Winter Caretaker and bookcase,
Yeah.
and I actually don't remember the previous pack already if there was any good veggie sources, but this card set with C and D is fairly rich in vegetables, so it's not the end of the world. What about the when this pack comes back around for the wheel pick? What are you thinking
Well,
about, if anything?
obviously hoping for bookcase, but highly unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
I like Animal Tamer and Porter.
Yep.
Winter Caretaker for the veggies as
Mm-hmm.
well, potentially.
Yep. Very reasonable. I think it's likely that you don't get any of those, but
Yeah.
that's how this pack is.
For the miners, probably just Acorn Basket if I get it. Otherwise, who cares?
Right. Okay, exciting stuff here. The choice between tutor and patron, and then the flail. So
So,
let's cover tutor versus patron first.
yeah. So when in doubt, go for the food.
Okay, I like it. Uh,
For me,
no,
yeah,
I
tutor
think
higher
that's
point ceiling.
yeah. I mean, you can already have a very strong game just like being able to play your cards without fear.
The thing is, with patron and bonehead are early ox, right? Cultivator can be whenever, but I probably want to play it kind of early.
Right.
I wanted the food support for the early ox.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that definitely makes sense. Uh, what's the thinking behind the flail, though?
Um,
Or maybe you don't pick it.
the others look pretty underwhelming to me, and I figured I'm going to use farmland at least twice with my swing plow.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I can bake some stuff, but at the very worst case, it gives me 2 food.
Okay, so it does turn the wood into 2 food. Remember that.
Yeah.
Um, I find flail to be pretty weak if you don't have a lot of grain. So I would personally be a bit worried that you don't have grain figured out and you're already taking baking support.
So you'd look at corn scoop or something.
I would probably take corn scoop here, but that's just a little safe. You could definitely argue to take wildlife reserve, stables okay. Truffle slicer's probably not right for your game, but it has the highest ceiling out of anything in this pack.
Yeah. Looking back, I think corn scoop would have been a good idea.
Okay, but you are preventing or preventing a little bit the chance that someone runs away with a baking strategy by taking flail. So there is some upside there.
Oh yeah, I was scared of the Dutch windmill I saw in the earlier pack.
I'm not talking about Dutch windmill.
Okay, so plow driver, like I don't need it. To be
Uh
honest, I didn't want any of these cars. I just wanted to take plow support away.
huh. Okay. Um, it's not a bad idea. I think I agree that there's nothing super interesting for you. I would probably take the scholar, but I think,
Yeah, for the playing ox. Yeah,
but taking the plow driver and just stuffing it in your hand for the whole game is really not the end of the world. That's like totally fine. And then education bonus is an interesting pick in my opinion.
interesting. I figured I'm gonna be playing some ox.
Mm-hmm.
Let's reward myself for that. However, I don't really need the field,
You definitely don't. So the
and
sixth
that's like
occupation
that's
stone.
like the main point of it, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean now the main point of it is the stone and the vegetable.
Yeah.
Like you can play it for the stone and veggie and be fine. Um, I feel like the timing of it is a little odd with your hand.
That could definitely be the case.
Because you don't have any like cheap early minor improvement unless you think you'll for sure get occupations early enough to play writing desk.
Yep.
Um, and yeah, if that and then you don't have like a second improvement that you're clearly playing early-ish. So I'm not convinced, but then again, I'm not exactly convinced about bottles or sheep well either. So
Yeah, shifting cultivation was definitely a no.
right, which also makes de-drafting the plow driver a little more suspicious.
Right. Well, okay, yeah. I guess I'm more scared of 5 fields than 1 field.
Yeah, that's fair. I think this is an interesting hand to think about bottles in, especially if you hit Papermaker. An interesting aside: do you even want Papermaker anymore?
Yeah, I probably have enough food.
Well, no, because there's never enough food. But
Never enough, but like I have some good food sources in patron cultivators giving me like 6 food throughout the game.
yeah, 6 food and 10 food roughly. Well, 8 or 12, something like that.
Yeah.
Now, Papermaker didn't even come back. That's interesting. All right, so Milk Jug, we
Uh,
don't need to talk too much about. The bean field, is questionable. The pond hut timing is questionable.
yeah, so Milk Jug is another one of those an early improvement I can't play
Yeah,
if I have the clay.
exactly. Yeah. So definitely fine there. And then Stonecutter over Pig Breeder and Hide Farmer and Merchant.
Yeah.
I genuinely think you could make a case for any of those four. I mean, I think that some cases are stronger than others, but
Pig breeder probably the safer pick, but
okay, I
I
agree with
figured
that.
I figured my ideal plan is playing all these ox. The stone discount's probably going to help me when I want to go to Stone Reno or just get the well or something.
Okay. Yeah, I don't mind it at all. Um, it's probably the highest upside of these. Um, Merchant is fun in this specific hand because there's nothing particularly wrong with playing a bunch of cards from this hand and trying to find time for a couple major improvements as well. Specifically,
Right.
if you go like a 3 room plan, then Merchant can really help, uh, like get all four
Yeah,
of your
just
feature minor improvements down.
just save actions.
Yeah, um, but in general, Merchant's pretty weak. And Hide Farmer, I think, might be the best in the abstract, but not when you have a swing plow.
Yeah, I figured I'm gonna have six plows and 6 fence, 3 rooms, something like that.
Yep, yep, cool. Good to hear that you're thinking about final farms during the draft. I definitely think that's an important thing to learn. And then Porter, definitely the one that you were hoping to come back that did, and then Acorns, I
Yeah,
assume. Yeah, those are both fine.
yeah, acorns.
There's you could take Dutch Windmill because you have a Stonecutter, but Acorns is
I
probably
knew
just better.
I knew if I took Dutch Windmill, you'd abuse me.
No, I mean, look, every card is playable at their own time. If you're using
True.
Dutch Windmill as I already bought the joinery, let me buy another joinery, you know.
Did you just say every card?
Uh, with very few exceptions, yeah. Especially if you have lower draft counts.
I don't know. Your plan yesterday was like, I'm gonna build like 5 or 6 rooms, but you laughed at Wall Builder, the poor guy.
Okay, yeah, Wall Builder still sucks, but you use it because you can't find Rough Caster when you're playing a cottage or clay room game. I would play Wall Builder with Cottager Loam Pit.
That sounds fun. Got the slicer.
Yeah, I don't know what you're gonna do with it, but
We're gonna have some fun with it.
yeah. So I see a bit of an issue here because
Okay.
how many occupations would you want to have played early here?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. And I mean, it's very possible that you go patron, bonehead, writing desk, porter plus storehouse. Like
Yeah.
that's.
So ideally, there's like 5 I want to play early, which is too many.
Mm-hmm. 4 is not impossible with the writing desk and patron. It's
Yeah. So the
really.
4 would be
Yeah.
Bonehead, Patron, Porter, Storehouse, maybe Cultivator.
Yeah, one of these two. I think I prefer storehouse. And then cultivator, stonecutter are both more mid gamey feeling to me.
Yeah, that's fair.
But overall, quite a reasonable hand. All right, and then from third seed, of course, there's always the risk you don't get the occupation. And there we have it.
What do you
Okay.
think about tutor first Ock straight up?
Nothing wrong with it inherently as long as you have some food figured out. Like if the bookcase went here, then I don't see anything wrong with that.
I would find that terrifying to play because
Well,
I've tried it before and I got a fat lost.
as a much less experienced player, you tried it.
Yes,
You've
that's
gotten a
true.
ton better since that game that has made quite the impression.
I'm still scarred from it. I don't think I can do it again.
Well, you saw that they first action tutor and they won the game comfortably. So
Yes, true.
there were a couple things in this draft that I think make tutor even better. First
Yeah,
move
there
for.
was
Mm-hmm.
bookcase, scholar, paper
Uh,
maker.
okay, yep, and then Stork's Nest, right?
Yeah,
Storks was in this game, and then maybe Schnapps Distiller. I don't actually remember. I might be
I don't
misremembering.
believe so.
Okay. So 3 wood over resource market. Any specific reason?
In case I want to start player flail.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah,
Plus,
that's fair enough.
plus, yeah, no plus actually. That was it. No,
Okay.
I figured I'm gonna get early food from patron most likely, so the one food won't really matter.
Okay.
I'm getting eventual stone discount from Stonecutter.
Okay. I'm in. You've sold me.
I think I could have easily gone to either, but
Yes. But with this start player line, what's your first action next round?
ok.
Okay, yes. Yeah, you probably understand this, but if you're taking start player, you should really know what you're starting with.
Yeah, you said it's annoying when someone takes start player and then waits 2 minutes to figure out what to do.
Yep. Especially
Yeah,
when they're right behind me taking start player.
I figured as third seat, I don't particularly want to plow this early because I'm going to be filled with plows anyway.
Yep.
I don't particularly want a day labor, so I'm probably going to be left with start player.
All right. Yep. Good analysis. And that's indeed what happened.
Would you play patron or bonehead first?
Oh, patron. Are you going to play 6 of your cards eventually?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
slam dunk. So delaying the wood a little isn't like losing the wood, whereas you would be losing 2 food.
yeah,
All right, you got resource market.
hell yeah, I do.
Yeah. Nothing too notable so far. Canoe is always a
One of
little
your
questionable.
favorites. Well, is Canoe that bad in CD? Because CD features a lot of wood injection, I would say.
Right. So if you're there are ways to use canoe responsibly, for sure. Um, I don't know if this is one of them. Like start canoe into round 3, not taking fishing with the player in front of you playing tutor and having 2 food. And
Yeah,
late sheep. I think this is a particularly bad move. If they canoed into fishing and then had some more wood support or have more room stuff besides just furniture, I think it's fine. But Bell Founder, I hate as a follow up move to that. Like I think the greedy move is read stone food or 3 wood, but I don't
and
think
then
anything
take
else makes
take
sense.
fishing on the way back.
Right. All right, you got the bonehead here, which is great. Huh. Okay, I double hate this. Now Canoe's just like sitting there as 2 wood spent. All right, gotta play the junk room. So why not start with the junk room and then play the Bell Founder?
Yeah, that's a valid point.
Uh, okay,
I'm not green though.
you are not. And you get resource market again. Your food's looking amazing for now. All right, Carpenter's Parlor with wood barter, probably a little scary. Any thoughts on, um, I guess it'll be kind of obvious, but how many rooms do you plan on building? Seeing wood barter, Carpenter's Parlor, furniture. We still need to know
Uh,
when family growth comes, but
yeah, I still plan on just having one room because I want to do farming things.
okay. I will say that your crops are a little weak. I don't see great crop source for you here.
Yeah.
Storehouse Keeper can definitely help in the mid game, but it's not going to be the most amazing thing.
Yeah, so I've got like one veggie from education bonus coming, crops from resource market,
Yep.
but that's about it.
And resource market in the mid game on a 3 room game isn't giving you a ton of value for the reed and the stone. It's like okay, but it's just kind of slow. All right, I think there is a very clear move here. You probably do what I expect you to do here, which is start writing desk.
Yeah, either that or take traveling. I'm pretty sure I start writing desk.
Yeah, because resource market doesn't really help you. By start
Oh,
playering, you get to build the next room. I mean, you want to play all these cards anyway, so. Yeah, canoe. Just like, what is that canoe doing?
just getting points for the late game.
Yeah, that canoe could have
So
been something.
I definitely underestimated red quite a bit because I'm like,
Their position doesn't seem amazing here. I will grant that for sure. But with Reno flipping, there was a priest in the draft, right?
yeah,
They're looking
you have a very
priesty.
good read.
Yeah. So I mean, if part of how red wins is they got lucky with the Reno flip, you know, what can you do?
Well, that's mainly why I wanted you to look at the game to see how much of it was due to luck and how much was my misplay.
Okay. I don't think you've done anything wrong so far. Purple taking the
Apart,
clay and you starting, like, this is totally fine. You're not going to have anything to play on your next minor, but that's fine.
yeah, yeah. So I do end up doing something that you don't like, but we'll see when it happens.
Okay. The biggest problem I'm seeing is that. Whoa, Tiller. Is that red is probably getting the 6 clay here, which is going to be huge for them. Oh, and late growth. Okay, yeah, I don't think you can do this. Yeah,
So I figured at my at the time that this happened was red and green aren't really threatening room building.
uh huh.
I figured I'm not going to be going last in the queue. I'm probably going to be going second in the queue.
I
And
think
this
that's the
way,
wrong read. I think that's just simply the wrong read because um, red looks like they're doing clay room stuff, but it's very easy for them to build a room here in this round. Same for green.
okay, if they prioritize it, yes.
Right. And if either of them decide to do that, then you're just growing third or maybe fourth.
My thinking at the time was this will at least having these two turns will at least get me minors to play when I grow.
Right. And that's the fallacy here is that if you eat one start player with no minor, you can still get occupation second move probably.
Right? Yeah.
And then play swing plow on your grow. So almost always you don't want to risk the growth position. If you start to grow and grow doesn't flip, you better be committed to continuing, unless it's exceptional circumstances, um, or that your plan going in is, well, I don't really want to support this idea either. Like, I'll take 6 wood or park start player again. If it doesn't, uh, sorry, I'll take 6 wood or grow if it flips. I don't think that's particularly good as an idea. I do think it's you have to take start player knowing you're either start playing again or growing. It's just
Right.
really hard to figure out the times when you should be doing anything else.
Yeah, it
So
was
I
going
look,
through
I
my
get the
it was going through my
temptation.
head, yeah.
I get the temptation. Like everyone makes this mistake always. So don't be like ashamed or anything. It's like the one of the classic things to get better at. So I mean, no doubt that 5 wood and a food is a good action here, but um, if you're the best way to frame it, I think, is if you're sad about having one move that or even 2 moves that don't come with minor improvements, well, you can spend moves to just play minor improvements on their own later when you have more actions to do them. You almost
Yeah,
always
so
end
like
up positive on actions by just playing nothing if nothing's available in your hand.
I would have plus 1 or 2 actions from the extra person anyway.
Right. And your opponents wouldn't have those actions. Oh boy. Yeah, Red's game looks good.
Even at this time, I thought with the strength of my hand, I should be winning this game comfortably. But I definitely underestimated red.
So last round, not getting room parts is a little dangerous with your second move because you.
Right, so I can threaten to build again.
Yeah, but lucky for you, or not. Um, you're not particularly forced into that immediately.
Yeah, so now I have to start play to get growth.
Right. And for your efforts, you get to play an extra acorns basket, it looks like. Or I guess a truffle slicer.
Yeah.
But neither of which you're like super mega excited about, right?
Yeah, I'd love to be playing the milk jug right now.
Right. Yeah, if you had the clay for the milk jug, that'd be great. Getting a swing plow out of the way here is fine. I would personally do it on the right column, but there's nothing wrong with this. Like, it's effectively equal. I would have
Yeah, I
considered
guess
buying the well last move, though.
that's also something I don't like to do is just go to major.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's a bad way of thinking. I like to combine Reno and major too much.
A lot of really strong players I know do have that as a heuristic in their own minds, too. So I'm not going to say that's wrong.
I think what it does, though, is it leaves me to renovate too early in most games.
Hmm.
Just forgetting the major.
Okay. This is an interesting point in the game. You don't actually have to grow right now. So what are you doing with your free action? And you choose 5 wood and a food.
Would you say the 4 clay would be better so I can grow with milk jug?
So that's 5 clay and a
Oh,
food.
sorry, yeah, sorry, 5 clay and a food. Yeah, I was tossing up between the two at the time.
And I do think building the well is the third good move. Because red
Right,
is
yep.
pressuring it. So I think though there are 3 good moves here, and I don't think the wood puts you in a like it doesn't the
It's
marginal
not bad, but
benefit
it
of
might not be the
that 5
best.
wood is like not huge right now. Whereas the marginal benefit of the clay for a Reno and milk jug is pretty good, and the marginal benefit of having the well, I think, is pretty good.
Yeah, I think looking back, clay would have been the move.
Also, clay prevents red from going for a triple build, which they might do.
Well, they can just loam pit anyway.
Oh, true. And
Oh,
I guess
yeah,
there's
but it
pressure to
does.
build.
It
Never
doesn't.
mind. Never mind. Yeah, they weren't going to do that. All right, early fencing from green because they hate having family members.
They don't need extra actions. They have canoe.
Right.
Yeah, taking the clay and playing milk jug would have been so much better.
And I mean, this is just another thing that I have to tell myself sometimes or reprimand myself for sometimes is taking the biggest pile of wood. Uh, while that's, well, it's more of a good heuristic in the original version of Agricola, actually. The revised version, the one we're playing, has just so many resource injecting cards that you do just have to ignore big stacks of stuff that you normally really want to take. Oh, this
Yeah,
stork is just beautiful for them there.
yeah. At this point, I started to realize I was screwed.
Their feeding is still a little suspect because their paper maker's going to run dry somewhat soon.
Get the well stolen from me.
Well, it was never yours.
Everything's mine in my head, Lumen.
Okay.
They're all taking away my stuff.
Well, then you should have been responsible about it. Oh, they didn't have the food to grow last round. Well, that's kind of funny. For
My
not
clay
getting the
stack.
clay. Oh, there's another clay stack
Oh,
that is almost as good.
I am getting my clay.
Good. Now you can think about pottery. Not sure that's correct, but you can think about it. What are your
I
second
think
moves here? Second and third move, ideally.
uh, fencing is something I would like to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, obviously renovating now. Renovating, fencing, plowing, they're probably on my list.
Okay. So the thing about fencing, well, you do get to see if green takes the pigs. Because if green doesn't take the pigs, I think that means you should be fencing.
Yeah,
And if
taking pigs. Yeah.
green does take the pigs, you can do other stuff, such as play your next two occupations and then reno, saving a stone. Yeah, I like where this is going. This field is hilariously useless, but you should take it anyway because of the cultivator tempo.
Oh, I definitely take it. There's no reason not to take it, right?
Right. Oh, yeah, pottery gone makes sense.
That did upset me at the time because I was planning on pottery.
Okay. Obviously, it makes sense for them to take it, right?
Yeah.
So,
I can't blame them for taking it.
yeah. Here, I think it's okay that you miss out on pottery because, what major improvement is bad for you?
Uh, yeah, none. You'd
Correct.
probably suggest I go clay oven, right?
Uh, Clay oven does seem like the best way to get rid of the extra clay you have.
Yeah.
Um, and it's cheap. But I think
So
you're happy this game with literally any of the four expensive major improvements remaining. Like, you want two of these. I don't think it particularly matters which two you end up with.
so
Because
I
Storehouse
end up
Keeper
going.
says you can end up with BMW just fine. Your wood situation says you can end up with joinery just fine.
I go the joinery option.
Okay. And you do it here. Okay. I don't like this timing of joinery.
Takes away my wood for the 15 fence.
Yeah, if cow flips, you'd really like to have 15 wood right now. So I would have maybe not renovated right now and taken Reedstone Food Grain. Or you could start player Milk Jug into fences if cow flips.
Yeah, those are much stronger lines.
I don't know about much stronger, but you do give yourself a bit of timing issue here. Um,
Knowing how the game turns out, there would be much stronger lines.
okay. Um, though you could make the argument, and I would totally be okay with it, that you're going to still plow 3 more fields with swing plow, and you're going to only have 5 spaces for fencing, in which case 14 would still fine.
I'm pretty set in my ways.
Um, yeah, I think
But
that's
yes,
probably just a really micro thing, but I do think with Cultivator, you don't mind going obscene amounts of fields and weird fencing patterns and such.
yeah, so fencing 5 fields would have been better, I think, and just having the extra plow.
Compared to stretching. Okay, I hate eating this wood. Why are you eating this wood?
Well, at the time of thinking, I still don't have a fireplace or hearth or oven, so I need
Okay.
food for later.
Okay. If that's the case, if you're thinking about food for later, and it's fair to have just like not thought about it at the time, but I do think that renovating with an improvement is just the wrong time
Yeah.
if you want food for later, or you could take a fireplace. You know, that's not the end of the world.
I think I'd take wood here for Porter as well, and my fencing.
Okay. As played, I think that makes sense. And I do think you need to fence right now.
Yeah, fencing is my next move.
Okay. Game trade's cute. Yeah, and I think in retrospect, 5 spaces 14 is better. You save
I'll
wood for
agree with that.
joinery and or stables. Obviously, red is just having the time of their life with day labor. Okay, we're getting into round 11 here. What are your goals for round 11?
2 pigs, 3 sheep. I think that was pretty much all my thoughts.
Not start player?
Okay, yeah. Start player Milk Jug would make sense. Or
Okay.
start player Acorn. No, Milk Jug more important.
I think Milk Jug more important here.
Yeah.
And Big Field. I think you need to think about, well, this is maybe still more advanced than you need to hear right now, but are you beating red if you don't gamble on Urgent Wish and hit it?
Yeah, that I had no idea at the time.
Okay. I think you're probably
I still had hopes of beating red.
okay. What I'm seeing with red is that they're just an action up on you.
Yeah, they
And
have wood. They have wood for fencing. They have pretty much everything.
right, they're gonna have their fields. They don't have crops yet, but this scholar hints at hard porcelain. Or just getting 3 stone, but going for 3 wood very much seems like hard porcelain and renovation incoming for them. Well, maybe I'm wrong, because it doesn't quite add up. They could also be going for another room. Stork would definitely not mind another room.
I think next action I take the sheep.
Yeah, I mean, this is great for you, getting 2 boar and 3 sheep this round. Hard porcelain's there, okay. Yeah, that's a bit of a steal. And then you might still get start player? Yeah, red's gonna build. You Reno
Yeah,
instead. I think Reno is the 3rd best move for you. Maybe even 4th best move for you here. I prefer start Milk Jug for reasons we've talked about. And so, not bad at all here.
I wasn't considering so, but start Milkjug was definitely the play.
Okay.
I have a very sad Milkjug coming up.
Yeah, so regarding so, it's the right time to get your veggie in the ground, right?
Yeah, 2 harvests, yes.
Yeah.
And
And you
I'm not
don't.
getting any other veggies.
Right. And then if you're baking your only grain here, that's
It is very
sad.
sad.
Yeah. And you had an extra wood to eat here. Wow, I just noticed that purple hasn't oct yet, just to maximize their bookshelf or bookcase, maybe.
I get hit with the last play here as well, which I should have really
Oh,
considered
that yeah,
more.
that's a bummer.
Okay, there's no real reason why I should be in stone right now, seeing as I have plow driver, but I'm not planning on playing it.
Right. Uh, the Reno queue does look a little ugly going forward, but it wasn't super duper rushed.
That was my thinking at the time. I don't want to get stuck not renoing, but I
Yeah,
had other
that's
things to do.
fair. It's just that now putting off the other things to do, it's just in a really awkward order of business. Um, because it's going to be kind of tough for you to get crops and sow them, I think.
It definitely is.
Yeah, so this is just like the reason early renoing is often worse is because of sequencing on what's typically available to help your farm score in the late game.
There's 3 milk jug food I missed.
Yeah. Ooh. And now you know you can start for Urgent Wish. I'm not convinced 3 wood minus food plus point is better.
I think I got distracted by truffle slicer for the first time.
Yeah.
As in playing it for the first time.
There is another good reason to do that is if you think your competition for second place is purple.
No, at this point I'm pretty confident I'm getting second by a mile.
Okay. So if that's your lens on things, I think you're probably right. And then there's not much point in continuing to watch the game if you're locked in on a position pretty confidently. It's more like I'll just skim through this looking for possible obvious mistakes.
Yeah. I was still trying to catch red at this point,
Okay.
but yeah, I don't think I'm any chance of doing that.
So in that respect, I don't think 3 wood's good at all. I think starting player putting them in 3rd next round is maybe the best you can do. Get Urgent Wish for yourself. Get Milk Jug
Yeah.
down.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious looking back. Like, I need the food. Start playing milk jug gives me food last round.
Right. So
And that's a mistake.
yeah, because this is only a point for you, right?
Yeah. Not only that, because of my fencing arrangement, like where am I putting cows?
Oh, I mean, you can hold 1 cow and 6 sheep and 5 boar just fine. Oh, but actually, no, these are like boars 6 and 7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's an issue I run into.
And you don't need stables because you have a joinery.
Yeah.
So you really, if you get more like porter wood stacks, then you can afford to build stables. But and you do have 2 more cultivator wood coming in also. Yeah, so yeah, no need to drill it in too hard, but yeah, milk jug there. And then you're praying that cultivation or farmland comes back around. Looks like it will.
Another
You
3 milk jug.
Yeah, happens. You figured out that you need
So,
to plow and skip.
yes.
Yeah,
After restarting my move,
yeah.
yes.
And hopefully you don't flail here. Good.
I was kind of scared it wasn't going to let me plow.
Okay. No, you're fine. Poor little cultivation not being taken by anyone.
Yeah, well, green doesn't have any crops. Red doesn't really have any crops.
Purple.
Purple should definitely be cultivated.
Oh my gosh.
They're getting super greedy.
Oh, they're going veg clay for the clay kneader Reno parts. My goodness. Oh, that milking stool is awful to see after red barely got the 2 cows in time earlier. And are you just going to stay start player for the last round? Seems unlikely.
Stranger things have happened.
Very true. Like purple
They
getting
get
last action cultivation. Pretty strange. Alright, now it should be very clear second place. If it wasn't
yeah.
before.
So I don't think anything I do on this last turn matters too much because I'm just clearly locked in second.
Yeah. So I don't know what we'd call the morals of this game or the major lessons learned here. In part, you were too hesitant to park start player on the growth flip.
Yeah, so I didn't get punished for that too badly,
I
even
agree.
though I could have.
Yep.
Yes. Renoing too early, not taking major improvement by itself.
Yeah. Um, Sewing or starting with milk jug would have been really good at the end of round 11. And I think you
So
got distracted by a 4+1 wood in the mid game at some point too when you could have taken the clay.
yeah, the clay would have been so much better. So had I done these things, do you think there was any realistic chance of catching red?
No. I mean, you'd be a lot closer, but no.
They just have a really good setup.
I mean, you probably have like 5 to 8 more points,
Yeah.
very roughly. You can call it 5 to 10 if you want, but I think you lost by more than 10, or roughly 10. And
Red laughed at me for this move.
veg.
So they actually said, what do you think Red's first move is going to be here?
Red's first move.
Yeah.
It could be veg.
They said that the correct block would have been fishing.
Hmm.
which, even now I don't really agree with. I mean, I can see they don't have much food, but
I think if you want to block them on food, taking major is better than going fishing.
yeah, I
because
wanted to block them on veg and then sow them
because
anyway for the point.
they're at 7 food from pottery, day labor, milking stool. So if they buy a fireplace, they trade in the sheep breeding points for 4 food. So I think
Yeah.
fishing and major are pretty equal for red. Though they do have to take another clay action if they do that, but oh no, they don't have enough to do with their 5 actions.
Yeah.
Now they're fed. Um, yeah, I'm a little surprised you didn't grow.
It was just lack of food.
Okay. So, yeah, I think fireplace would have been way better for you than clay oven here.
I think I used clay oven once, yeah.
Right, and fireplace could have justified the acorns basket a little better. Game trade is fine here. I don't like the milk jug play.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a clay to 3 food. But I guess it's the food you needed, so in that sense, fishing might have been the right action for you.
Yeah, I was just, because I don't have a fireplace or hearth, I was really struggling to just find out how to get to 8 food.
Right. Um, yeah, so grow is still a 2 point action for you, because now that you're at 8 food, but you weren't there before.
Yeah, I can just eat a veg or something.
Yeah. But that's a good move to find a point there.
And yeah, so this is the dilemma I came up with. I came across. I wanted to build the stables, but it's basically net nothing.
Correct. Yeah, okay. And it was a 9 point game in the end.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
not
I
not really
think
close at all.
I think it gets close. I think it gets very close if you grow first, if you take clay earlier, and if you start in round 12 or round 11 rather, or sow in round 11. Either one. Because if you sow first, then you can reno bake not your only grain.
Yeah, the crops was the killer.
Yeah, because you do get max veg points, but not getting more grain points is a little unfortunate.
Yeah, and I get max veg points by taking a veg in the last round with only 4 actions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely some things that can be improved.
Mm-hmm. I mean, overall, the fact that we're reviewing things at this level is a great sign for your improvement, I think.
I feel very comfortable with the game now. I feel pretty comfortable with the CD cards.
Okay, cool.
I don't know if I'm ready to jump into like every card, but
No, I think playing arena for quite a while will be good. And I mean the variety from this card pool, which is now like 210, is honestly quite good.
oh yeah, there's tons of variety.
Yeah. Um, I'm not gonna go back to it if I don't have to, but it was definitely very good for me for quite a while. So, um, so what you had suggested as something we could do is similar to last time or 2 times ago, where we went through mild ratings of the base set cards. We could go through mild ratings of the CD cards.
Yeah, I'm up for it.
Okay. Because yeah, I honestly thought this game review would take a little longer based on how long previous ones have taken.
I think with my better understanding of the game, this should take bit less time now. There's a few less things to it you have to explain to me.
Right, right.
Hopefully.
Yeah, and if I point something out, it's like you've seen this before. It's not like a foreign concept.
I
Yeah.
can't believe I was betrayed by not playing Milk Jug, like my favorite card.
Yeah, how could you just not find time to play it?
If Rainier ever sees this, he's gonna like never talk to me again.